Ladies and gentlemen, festivities mean celebrations and prosperity. And if we talk about India, it also means luxury car brands getting record sales. Mercedes-Benz and Audi have witnessed record sales in India during the period of festive celebrations this year. The 89-day festive period between the 17th of August and the 14th of November saw the overall passenger vehicle retail sales cross the 10 lakh mark, whereas the same festive season last year witnessed the sales of around 8.1 lakh units. So from Onam to Dussehra to Diwali, Indians have splurged this year, with Delhi and Mumbai continuing to lead the demand for Audi cars, followed by Hyderabad, Kolkata and Ahmedabad. Now this, remember, comes amid the expected supply chain disruptions, new model launches and a strong consumer sentiment. So what is driving this positive outlook? Experts suggest that this is a post-pandemic boom, a change in mindset of people and quicker launch of new models by companies. Let's talk more about this on the show tonight with my guests. Ankit Singh Kimti, founder, director, Diamond X, joins us. Kushan Mitra, automotive journalist, also joins us. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Welcome to Mirror Now. I'll start with you, Ankit. There's been a record sale, and this is, nothing new, considering the fact that festive season does see an increase in splurging, in spending by consumers. But this kind of record sale amid concerns of supply chain disruptions, did you expect this? How do you see it?
So thank you so much for connecting over here and talking about this thing. So actually, over the past years, every year on year, we see a 20% increase or the growth in the upcoming market. This is because festive is one of the best opportunity for any of the luxury goods we talk about or the car market players. Eventually, coming up of EVs and making new things which really attract the consumers to buy the car in terms of their luxury brands or how they wanted to take it. So whether we are seeing a good amount of sales coming, just a quick example of talking about a Range Rover, which was previously 1 crore and now it has been gone to 2 crore altogether, but the sales have not decreased at all. People are still buying the best of their cars, whatever they wanted to talk about and whatever they wanted to buy. So overall, I can say that as per the current scenario, the sales are pretty much good in terms of the car side. And when we talk about the luxury goods, there are a lot of sentiments attached to the consumers during the festive seasons. So they're pretty much attached in terms of their buying behavior or patterns, and they wanted to buy. And companies also offer good types of discounts and benefits for the high-end users or the consumers who really wanted to buy at that particular season. So that is why we can see a good amount of sales coming in the luxury goods as well as car markets.
Okay, Kushan Mitra, the president of Lexus in India, Naveen Soni, said that this is a post-COVID phenomena, and post-COVID, that feeling of what the younger generation calls YOLO, that is, you only live once, has set in, and therefore there's a change in how the consumer is spending in the market. This is an aspirational generation which doesn't want to save as much as perhaps their parents and grandparents' generation did, and they want to spend as much as they're earning. Do you resonate with that thought?
So yes, definitely when we talk about in terms of the buying behavior pattern, so that have been changed.
I'll come to you, Ankit. This is for Kushan Mitra.
Oh, yeah, sure. Definitely, there is a definite bit of what you call YOLO over here. And this was given as a reason, but YOLO could have explained the climb in sales in maybe 2020 and 2021. But in 2023, it has to be said that the overall economic sentiment is obviously doing better. You can argue sales not just of luxury cars, but also the value of every car. The same story that you're quoting from the Times of India that came a few days ago also showed the value of the cars per car value had gone up significantly. the average selling price of a car has gone over 10 lakhs right now across the board. So people are spending more. Of course, some of this is also inflation. Some of this is also more affordability. And there is demand for luxury goods. Of course, you have to keep in mind that luxury cars as such only comprise a very, very small percentage of the overall car market. This year, that is going to be fiscal ending March 2024, while the overall market for passenger cars in India will be about 4 million cars. Luxury cars, I will be barely 2% of that, if at all that. So there'll be less than 80,000 luxury cars sold in India. We
Can
are
I
still a
also
very
then ask
small
you,
market for
Kushan,
many of these brands.
the fact that is this phenomena only restricted to the rich, the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, or do we also see the middle class evolving and taking up and buying and spending on luxury items more now?
Definitely, I think the younger generations are spending much more. Of course, if you look at the schemes that was mentioned by the other guest, right now, all the car companies, all the luxury car companies, be it Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Jaguar Land Rover, Volvo, they are all offering very interesting deals. You get full service packages, you get leasing packages. So car companies are offering their entry-level luxury cars, so to speak, at monthly prices starting at about 50,000 rupees. So it is becoming more affordable with innovative marketing schemes, innovative finance schemes for customers. And if you're young and aspirational, nothing says that you have arrived more than rocking up to a meeting in a BMW X1 or a Mercedes Benz. So obviously that is there. So increasing affordability thanks to all these new finance schemes and leasing schemes.
Yeah. Ankit, the fact that the supply chain disruption is not a new challenge that we are facing. It's been going on since the world was struck by COVID. And since then, we've had the ripple effect of supply chain disruption in almost every sector. But in the automobile industry, do you see this ending anytime soon? Also, the fact that how are manufacturers really coping with it?
I don't think there is a major supply chain disruption anymore. Many of the supply chain issues that impacted the market, such as the shortage of microprocessors, that impacted the market very severely in late 2020, 21 and 22, have been resolved for the large part right now. For example, last year, wait times even on a car like say a Grand Vitara or a Hyundai Creta had hit about 6 to 8 months, let alone some luxury cars. There are some models from Mercedes-Benz that have wait times of over a year, for example, last year. Those wait times have come down significantly because for the large part, the concern of the supply chain component crunch that you had has been resolved. And for the large part, I mean, there's still certain models on which there are very long waits. I mean, even a car like the new Toyota Innova Hi-Cross has a significant wait because components for the hybrid engine are not available. So you have a 1-year wait on that car. But in the luxury segment today, if you walk in, you could get all but some of the rarer models, all but some of the more expensive models. Some models have long wait lists. But say in EVs, for example, several of the new EVs launched by car companies, the wait lists have come down, waiting times have come down to under 3 months.
Okay. Ankit, have you also seen this kind of a challenge playing out in the industry where production and availability of SUVs, of luxury cars, has not really impacted that much this time around?
It again depends on model to model, which models are available.
Kushan, this is for Ankit.
Yeah.
I think Kushan can better answer because being from the car industry.
Yeah, Ankit, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely understand. But to you, Ankit, as well, have you had just as somebody who's from the luxury item industry, have you had that challenge of supply chain disruptions, and is it still prevalent, or was it just immediate post-pandemic effect?
So Shreya, I'd like to talk about in terms of the supply chain, the consumers or the manufacturers are pretty much aggressive in terms of making the best of the supply for the festive seasons. Whether we talk about any of the brands for luxury goods, you talk about fashion, you talk about jewelry, you talk about watches. So everybody's prepared for the festive seasons. So it is really important to maintain the supply chain so that the consumer can get the right what they need for, and eventually platforms and online ecosystems are so much strong which can really help the consumer to get what they're looking for. So I think like the supply chain plays a very important role for a consumer or for the manufacturer to fulfill for their festive needs.
Okay. Kushan, so far we've seen the metropolitans, Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, all of these cities leading the push, the need, the spending on luxury cars. Do we also see that being mirrored in tier two cities now with the standard of living having increased over the past few years?
Is that for me?
Yes, Kushan.
Yeah, okay. So definitely it has. If you look at brands like, again, Audi, BMW, and Mercedes, you see their reach. They're going down to tier two cities or even tier three cities with their new showroom launches. Um, Sales are increasing in these smaller towns. I don't even want to call them smaller towns at all anymore. I'm sure Ankit can give us on other goods as well, such as luxury watches. And the luxury watch industry is very closely linked with the luxury car industry, given several major watch brands are associated with luxury car companies. These are definitely going down to, and you're going down. If you go down, you see the interesting registration numbers on cars, and not just DL plates or MH plates. You're getting, luxury cars sold in places you may not expect. You won't expect so many luxury cars to be sold in Raipur or in Ranchi, but they are right now. And that's because consumers in those cities, particularly that class of consumer, also has links to major cities like a Delhi or Mumbai. They probably have a house in a Delhi or Mumbai, so they have multiple luxury cars. So definitely, small town or what you would call non-metropolitan India will be a huge driver for luxury sales across the board.
Okay. Ankit, with that, can we also say, the kind of the way in which economies were struck during the COVID pandemic, now we're seeing that recovery happening on ground?
Definitely, I think recoveries are happening on ground. You can look at it. You see the consumer. You see also the consumer indicators from India. You could argue that there has, on the same time, been a decline in the car market, for example, of entry-level car sales. So small hatchback sales have gone down. People aren't buying. There are very, very few sub 5 lakh rupee cars in the market anymore. People aren't buying, hatchbacks at all. Just look at the sales figures. They're declining. Maruti Suzuki sales in for their 10 to 15 lakh rupee cars is booming, while Maruti Suzuki sales for the entry-level cars like the Alto and Espresso have cratered. Similarly, demand for other cars, other brands as well, they're seeing their more expensive SUVs in demand, and their small cars or entry-level car sales are down. So you could argue that there has been what is called, economists call a K-shaped recovery, and that's also evident in the fact that sales for 100cc motorcycles is down. So those are concerns for the car market and the economy overall, but definitely the top end of the market is rocking.
Okay. Do you see that as well in other sectors, Ankit, in your industry as well? And how do you see this really panning out in the near future?
So I see a good future of growth in terms of business every year on year. As I talk about different luxury segments, there is definitely the tier two and tier three plays a very important role. Rightly coming from the jewelry or the diamond industry, besides the prices are pretty high, we still see a 30,000 crores turnover in this current market scenario. So that plays a very important role in terms of how does the overall things moves on, and specifically contribution of tier two, tier three, contributing towards the growth of the economy plays a very important role for all of us.
All right, all right. So a bright future ahead. We'll have to see how it really pans out. I'll wrap it up here, gentlemen. Ankit Kimti and Kushan Mitra, thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight and sharing your perspective on the record sales that luxury car brands have seen and, of course, the near future of the recovering Indian economy. Thank you very much.